Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Scarlet with Scarlet's Little Crafty Corner, and this is week 4 of the Feelin' Groovy event that I'm hosting. This is with the Facebook group Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0, and I will leave a description to everything, I'll leave a link. How about that? I'll leave a link in my description box for everything that I talk about. If, there's a link. So, first off, I hope y'all enjoyed your Easter Sunday. I hope you got to spend it with family, church, however you celebrate Easter, or even if you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you had a good day. I hope everyone's doing well, and I also want to say thank you to all the subscribers. I appreciate all of you, and I want to say thank you to everyone who is participating in this event. I really, really, really was surprised at how many people actually are participating. And what you are seeing right here, now this is a sponsored giveaway event, okay? What you're seeing here is by JeniRose Designs. She is sponsoring the giveaway. She has her own shop. She has made everything you see here. Go check her shop out. I'll leave a link in the description box to JeniRose Designs. It is a Facebook group for now. I think she's going to branch out, but I'm not 100% sure. But you can join her group on Facebook, and you can see everything that she carries. And, she even puts videos on there sometimes of her making some of the stuff. But she has got what you see here. We've got release papers, which these are sealed and I didn't want to open them, but you're going to get, this envelope is release papers, and this is what it looks like. They are shiny, glossy, I guess is the word. Really nice. I think if you put a black light on this, on any of this, that it glows. I'm pretty sure. But that is what the release papers look like. And then she has made, and I know my lighting is awful. It's like 8 o'clock at night when I'm doing this. This is a tumbler. And inside here, there are instructions on how to clean and all that good stuff. But this is Feelin' Groovy, and she's got it. It goes all the way around. And I love, love, love the colors in this. And it comes with your straw. And I'm just going to set that to the side for a second. She's also made a notebook. And it says Feelin' Groovy on the spine. Has Feelin' Groovy right here. And in the notebook, it's really nice. Y'all, the boys are playing, so y'all might hear them playing. But this is a very nice notebook. It has got the little ribbon marker in there. And then, now, this is the replacement bag. The other bag that she made, she accidentally did it upside down, which is no big deal. But she made a replacement for it. And this is a nice size nice canvas bag. And it's got really nice handles on them. But it also has the Feelin' Groovy on it. Super, super great giveaway items. And I want to tell her thank you for doing this. She did not have to. But, I wanted to help her in her shop. And, she's been around for a while. But I know I think she kind of took a break. But she's back So I wanted to, get her name out there, and y'all go check her out. So JeniRose, thank you for sponsoring this event. I really appreciate it. Also, go check out the Facebook group Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0. If it's not 2.0, you are in the wrong Facebook group. And I also wanted to mention, being that we've only got a couple more videos left in the, well, we've got one more week. I'm going to do one more week, although I know it's not a full week. It's just like 3 days. But still, it's the start of a new week. So I'm going to go ahead next week, do another Monday video. And then after that, the last video will be of the drawing for the event. But I wanted to also let y'all know, because next month is May. So the May event with the Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 group will be the 2-year celebration, which is Laura at Crafty Chef Diamond, and she's doing food. So it's a theme of food. It can be any kind of food, because y'all know she is a chef. So she cooks and she makes food. So that's what her theme is food. Then in June, it's going to be plant or garden theme. And that is going to be with Amy's Sparkly Diamond Painting. Okay? So that's your next 2 months. That way you can go ahead, get your canvases or your craft, whatever craft you're going to do, you can get those ready. Because like I said, there's only about a week and a half left in April, and then we're going to go right straight into the May event with Laura. So I'm going to pause, and I'm going to move everything. I'm going to get settled. I'm going to bring y'all down. And again, y'all, I'm just going to apologize for the boys. They are running all over the place. They are making noises. Again, it's 8 o'clock at night, so my lighting is a little So anyway, I'm going to put you on pause, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that only took a few seconds for y'all. Took a few minutes for me to get settled in here. All right. Another thing that I realized I didn't even tell y'all or remind y'all of, as far as the giveaway goes, it is only for US only, but that doesn't mean you can't participate. It just means I cannot afford shipping to send this box out of the US, so I'm afraid that I'm going to have to do this giveaway for US only. You have to be subscribed to me. You have to participate, which my participation, what I would like is, if you have a Facebook, I would like for you to join the Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 group. Because in that group, every day I'll put a trivia question. Every Saturday I post that this is the end of week whatever, and then that's where I would like for you to post your progress pictures. But if you don't have Facebook, I would like for you to be subscribed to my channel. I would like for you to send me through email a picture of your progress on your canvas. So that's really, and I guess I should say also, is when you're watching the videos, I would like for you to comment below and, answer any questions that I might ask. Or at least just, you know, say hi, you know, because I want to know that you're listening to the video and that you are participating. I would like full participation in this event, if at all possible, being that it's a giveaway. So with that being said, and another thing, if you finish your canvas every week, when I ask for a progress picture, go ahead and post your picture again. I don't care. That way, I mean, you're participating. So yeah, and feel free, if you've already done your canvas, feel free to do another. I don't mind. So, all right. I am working on this section. I've been going all the way across, doing like, I always do the black first, the outline, and then I go back and I fill in. But I wanted to hurry up and get this video up, so I don't know how far I'm going to get, but I wanted to at least get, you know, this much, you know, with the black, and then hopefully get some of this filled in. Like I said, I don't know how long the video is going to be. They've been about an hour, and I don't know. And I'll tell y'all, this has been like really fun, but really hard to come up with something every week, you know, to talk about. So this week's video, I was going to do fads and fashions of like the 60s and the 70s, and then next week, which is our last week, I was going to talk about something else. But I think what I'm going to do is this week I am going to, this video is a hot mess so far, but this video I'm doing 60s, all 60s. That's it. Next week will be 70s, okay? So, all right. Let's get it together. Okay, so let me move my papers. Okay, let me grab a color. I hope y'all can see what I am doing. All right, well, we're just going to start with this blue right here. Hopefully, y'all are working and y'all ain't paying attention to what I'm doing down here, because I'm a hot mess down here. And y'all, I had still not changed out my glue dots or my putty. I'm still using the same thing. And I may not even get done with my canvas myself. So that's why I was just like, you know, I'm not going to require a finish. I just want participation. Okay. Let me get all of this set out. I should have done this before I hit start. But oh well. It is what it is. Okay, so with the 60s, and good God Almighty, I am already starting with the okay so's. I'm gonna try not to do that. I know it's annoying. Alright, so the 60s fads. It says, hippies were a prominent counterculture movement in the 60s advocating peace, love, and anti-establishment ideas. Fashion trends of the era included mini dresses, go-go boots, with skirts getting significantly shorter. The 60s saw the rise of iconic fads like surfing, the peace symbol, and the twist dance craze. So how many of y'all did the twist? I still do it when I dance. I don't dance as much as I used to, but we still did the twist. Even though I was not born in the 60s, I was born in the 70s. I mean, things were still going on when I was born. So, I still know a little bit of this stuff. All right. With so many straight-laced teens in the 50s, it was only natural that there would be a backlash. Welcome to the 60s. Free love, flower power, hippies, and political mayhem. These were the trends of a decade that saw upheaval of social mores and cultural behaviors. It says, as the Beatles rocked and Bob Dylan rolled, the world saw changes in the political climate, the fashion world, and even in the realm of food. So, I have been going through, and we have discussed food, we have discussed cartoons, toys, TV shows, what else have I, candy, snacks, just, anything I can think of to come up with for the 60s and 70s. And I think that it's been pretty good so far. There's a lot. There's a lot of foods and snacks and candies that I wish were still around. And there's some that you can find, I guess they're considered retro candies and stuff, snacks now. And as other people have commented, you can find a lot of this stuff at Cracker Barrel. You can also find it at Dollar Tree if y'all shop at Dollar Tree. I used to work there, and we used to get all kinds of candy there all the time that was from, the 60s and 70s. So, it says, by the 60s, thousands of soldiers had died fighting a war that was growing more and more unpopular by the day. The cry, "Make love, not war," was a mantra among the hippies. And if you are in the Facebook group, and I asked everyone who was the original that came up with the "Make love, not war," there's so many different people that I guess came up with it. Well, some had it in a book, some had it in this, some had it in that. But the one person that stood out and made it more iconic, which was the answer that I was looking for in the trivia question, was John Lennon. It's just been more memorable, I guess, because he said it. And it says, okay, well, we'll just talk about some of the clothes. The post-war baby boom had produced 70 million teenagers by the time the 60s came along. All of those hormones dictated some changes in the world of fashion. Long gone was the poodle skirt. Oh, I can't turn the page. And skirts in the 60s got shorter and much, much shorter. Wait a minute. Skirts in the 60s got shorter, much, much shorter. Skirts and mini dresses often came up 4 to 5 inches above the knee in the United States and an eye-popping 7 to 8 inches above the knee in the UK. Ooh. Y'all in the UK, y'all were daring. Okay, says, while the skirts got shorter, boots got taller. The most popular boot was the go-go boot, which was often white, patent leather, and went almost to the knee. And I wish, well, I wouldn't put them on here, but anyway, my mom and her sisters, they have got pictures of them, and they have got go-go boots and mini skirts on with the big beehive kind of hairdo. They're really neat pictures, y'all. The boys, I'm probably gonna have to pause and take that darn chicken away from them. Booger's he's got 2 or 3 chickens and he loves them, and Buster knows not to play with them because he's hard on toys. Matter of fact, he's sitting here looking at me. He knows he ain't supposed to have that chicken. Go get your chicken, baby. Okay, like I said, this is going to be a hot mess. I'm here by myself, and so the boys are bored. Alright, so then there were... Alright, hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've got go-go boots and mini skirts, and y'all, I even wore mini skirts when I was in high school. I guess the fad came back because I had them in high school. And that was in the 90s, so, because I graduated in 90. Okay, there was fallout shelters, which with the Cold War in full force and the Cuban Missile Crisis exposed and the constant threat of nuclear attack, many people in the early 60s decided that building a fallout shelter wasn't such a paranoid notion. Kits began at around $100, which were flashlights, shortwave radios, and can openers. But a family could spend thousands on special basements equipped with board games, gas masks, and escape hatches. Wow. Okay. Surfing. What better place than a sunny beach to spread peace, goodwill, and free love? It says Polynesians had been surfing for centuries, but when lightweight surfboards became affordable in the late 50s, everyone could grab a board and hang 10. By the early 60s, the fad had really caught a wave, and movies like Beach Party and Beach Blanket Bingo helped popularize surfing and beach culture. I have never surfed. I don't even think I would be able to get up on one. Okay, then there was the peace symbol. Says, thanks to British graphic designer Gerald Holton, no hippie had to go without a peace symbol talisman. Said he was, gotta turn the page, he was hired to create an image for the campaign for nuclear disarmament. Claimed his inspiration for the symbol came from the shape of the letters N and D in the semaphore alphabet. The icon was adopted by the hippies and remains as popular today as it was when protests and anti-war marches were daily events. Okay, so I got a peace sign right here, and I am not seeing no, well, yeah. Okay, I can see the D. I really don't see the N, though. But that's something that that I did not know. Okay, the next fad. Let me get a color. Let's see. Let me just go with this one. We'll do the ends next. The next fad is the twist. This dance craze of the early 60s came as a result of Chubby Checker's #1 song of the same name, The Twist. Let me see, where am I at on here? The twist was the first modern dance style that did not require a partner, and couples did not have to touch each other while dancing. Checker said, "It's like putting out a cigarette with both feet, coming out of a shower and wiping your bottom with a towel to the beat of the music." Well, yeah, okay. I can see that. I can see that. It's like everyone was jumping on the bandwagon with a twist record. Checker also recorded Let's Twist Again, and Joey D and the Starlighters reached #1 with Peppermint Twist, while Sam Cooke was Twisting the Night Away. Or Twisting the Night. Okay, 7, the tie-dye. Okay, how many of y'all tie-dye? There's your question #1. Do any of y'all, or did anyone tie-dye? Do you still tie-dye? I actually did a review for a company called, oh my gosh, what was the name of that company? Hippie something. Hippie. I don't remember, but I did a review for several of their products. They have craft products, and tie-dyeing was one of them. And I did a video of me and my daughter tie-dyeing some t-shirts. Hers come out really good. Mine sucked because my colors got really mixed up. So when it was all said and done, my shirt kind of looked like a blob. Like brand. I had a lot of colors in it, but then, you know, once it was done, it just looked like a brown blob. I still wear it, though. I wear a lot of tie-dye. Not, like, a ton of it, but I do have, like, 3 or 4 tie-dye shirts, because I love tie-dye. So, that's question #1. Let me write that down. #1 is, did anyone ever tie-dye a shirt? Has anybody ever tie-dyed? How about that? Okay. It says, the ancient fabric dyeing method of shibori began in Japan centuries ago, but it became a fashion trend symbolic of the 60s. By wrapping fabric around sticks or gathering and securing it with rubber bands, then submerging it in a bucket of dye, a funky, almost hallucinogenic pattern emerges when the sticks or the rubber bands are removed. This homemade method became popular with hippies, providing living color to the ethnic look that so many embraced during the era of free love and liberation. Tie-dyed clothing is still pretty much the standard uniform for peaceniks today. Okay, this next one is lava lamps. So they started in the 60s, invented by Edward Craven Walker. This novelty lighting instrument featured a glass bottle full of wax and oil with a coil in the metal base. When the lamp was turned on, the coil would heat up and globs of wax would bubble around in the oil, producing a lava effect. Some claimed the lava lamp was meant to stimulate the hallucinogenic visuals from the drugs that were becoming so popular. The word groovy. Whoop. Okay. That's it. Lava lamp. So that was 8 different fads that were started in the 60s. And y'all, my daughter has still got a lava lamp. She actually had 2, and one quit working. And I'm pretty sure the other one still works, but I'm not real sure. If I can think of it, I'll get it and I'll show it in a video. But I remember having a lava lamp when I was a kid. I thought they were pretty neat. I don't really think that they're made the same now as they used to be. But I thought they were gorgeous. I thought they were really neat to sit and watch. And they could help put you to sleep if you just, kind of like watching a fish tank. You just watch the lava move around. Okay, now, all right, let's talk about the top movies of the 60s. And, oh my God, there were so many movies. And I just took the top 10 movies that I seen. And I wrote them down. But there were lots and lots and lots of movies that came out in the 60s that everyone should recognize because they're quite popular movies. Number 1, To Kill a Mockingbird. That came out in 1962. And then we have Midnight Cowboy. That came out in 1969. We have Breakfast at Tiffany's. That is an extremely popular movie, even today. But that came out in 1961. And Planet of the Apes. That came out in 1968. Then we have Dr. Strangelove. That was in 1964. We have Rosemary's Baby in 1968. That was one of the first books, not the first, but around in my teenage years, I read that book. And that book was weird. I don't know. I can't remember. Well, I do think I seen the movie. I just don't remember it. But the book was freaky. And of course the books are always going to be better than the movie. But the book was pretty freaky. All right. And then we have The Graduate. Rosemary's Baby was in 1968. I think I said that. The Graduate came out in 1967. And then we have Romeo and Juliet. Came out in 1968. Did anyone ever have to read that in high school or do a play of Romeo and Juliet in high school? There's question number 2. We'll say. All right, question number 2 is, has anyone, or did anyone have to read or do the Romeo and Juliet play in high school? I know these are kind of silly questions, but I'm sort of kind of winging it, just to be honest. Okay, then we have number 9 is The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. That came out in 1966. And then we have The Sound of Music. And that came out in 1965. And I will be totally honest. And I'm going to get some haters. But I never liked that movie. I've seen it a couple times. And I don't know. I just never liked it. Yeah, I just never did. But that is that's 10 of the movies that came out that were popular in the 60s. Like I said, there were so many movies, but those were just the first 10 that I've seen. Because, you know, I can't sit here and just talk about movies for an hour. Okay. Okay, so some of the popular songs of the 60s. Now, I picked 3 songs per year, but there were so many more. And I love the 60s and 70s music. I mean, I grew up on it. My dad, he played a lot of music. He loved a lot of music. And my dad, he sings like in church and stuff. He's always been able to sing good. And he, that's where I got the love of music from, was, I guess, my dad. Because we were always listening to something. So, in 1960, 3 of the most popular songs were Everybody's Somebody's Fool by Connie Francis. And y'all, I can remember pretty much all of these songs. There are a couple that kind of threw me that I didn't know. But for the most part, I know about all these songs. Or, you know, I've heard them. Okay, and then we have Will You Love Me Tomorrow? And that is from the, is it Cheryl's, something like that. And, of course, Are You Lonesome Tonight by Elvis. All right. Then in 1961, we have Runaway by Del Shannon. And I know you all have probably heard this next one, Crying by Roy Orbison. And then the third song in 1961 was Tossin' and Turnin' by Bobby Lewis. Okay. Whoop. I messed that one all up. All right, and then we have 1962. I Can't Stop Loving You by Ray Charles. And then what about this one? Y'all have got to know this one. Big Girls Don't Cry by the Four Seasons. And then we have Stand By Me by Ben E. King. So I know y'all have got to have heard those, surely. And then in 1963, we've got Louie Louie, which was the Kingsmen. We've got Surfing USA, which is the Beach Boys. And y'all, I used to love this song. I loved the cartoon movie Puff the Magic Dragon, which was Peter, Paul, and Mary. I love that song. 64. I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. And then we have I Got You by James Brown. And then we have Pretty Woman by Roy Orbison. You know, and I think what's funny is nowadays just how many songs that we hear that are like 50s, or not 50s, but the 60s and the 70s and even the 80s that are now in, you know, here it is 2025, that are in movies and commercials and, you know, just all kinds of stuff that were old songs. I think it's cool. All right, now 1965, we've got I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones with the tribute band. I didn't even know the Rolling Stones had a tribute band. Oh, I got a gnat. Die. That's a gnat, y'all. Okay, and then we've got California Dreamin'. I can hear these songs in my head as I tell y'all about them. And that was from the Mamas and the Papas. Then we have Wooly Bully by Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. So do y'all remember any of these? Did y'all listen to any of these? Dance to any of these? So we are 1966. We've got For What It's Worth, Buffalo Springfield. Then we've got, which is what I almost said a while ago when I was talking about the go-go boots, because there was a part on that little paragraph that talked about this, and I had to stop myself because I knew that I had it in this section. But these boots are made for walking, and that was Nancy Sinatra. I love that song. And I hear that there's a commercial that I seen not too long ago for something, and that song was being played. Then we've got Summer in the Cities, and that was Lovin' Spoonfuls. So 1967, we have, this is one of the songs, I might know it if I heard it, but I don't know if I've ever heard this one, or the people that sung it, but it's called Whiter Shade of Pale by Procol Harum. I don't know. That's a new one on me. And probably when I get done with this video, I am going to have to Google it because I don't know that one. All right. I'm Still in Love with You by, is it Alton Ellis or Alton Ellis? I don't know. And then we have got Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. Whew. Okay, so 1968, y'all. This is my very, very, very favorite song by the Beatles. and it was Hey Jude. And I think, if I am not mistaken, I think John Lennon is the one that wrote that song, if I'm not mistaken. But that is one of my favorite Beatles songs. All right, then we've got Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf, which is so funny because I have that tape. Yes, I said tape. We had tapes, and then we had CDs. And, well, first we had records, vinyl. And then we had, 8 tracks. And then we had tapes. I remember my dad had an 8-track player in the car. And then we had CDs. And now people just download stuff, which is so crazy. Okay, and then, actually I have 4 songs on here somehow. Mama Tried by Merle Haggard. Y'all, I love me some Merle Haggard. I like that old country. That stuff they play nowadays, some of it's okay. I like a few, but I like the old country music. And then we've got I Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye. So every time I hear that song, I think of them darn California raisins that I don't even remember. That might have been in the 80s, but the little California raisins that you would get from who had those? Was it Wendy's, McDonald's, Hardee's? I don't remember. But some fast food restaurant had those little plastic grapes, and there was commercials, and you could collect all these different little grape figurines. It might have been McDonald's. You might have been getting them in a Happy Meal. But they had the commercials of the raisins dancing, singing, Heard It in the grapevine. Do y'all remember that? There's you another question. In the comment section, let me know if anyone collected those grapes. Or the raisins, I'm sorry. They were just little raisin guys. So the question would be, did you ever collect the little Heard It Through the Grapevine raisins? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I know you do. Like I said, that might have been an 80s thing. I'm not sure. But every time I hear that song, that's what I think of. All right, now, 1969. We've got Sugar Sugar, which were the Archies. And then we have Suspicious Minds by Elvis. And then, y'all, I love this song. I love it, I love it, I love it. Song of a Preacher Man. And that was Dusty Springfield. So, what... Well, I don't want to have like 100 darn questions. But here's a bonus question. If anybody wants to answer it. What was your favorite... this will be the 4th question. But what was your favorite song or band growing up? And if you're 60s, 70s, I don't care what year. Just what was your favorite song and or band growing up? Y'all, I had so many, but of course mine's, the songs, I I really liked Prince. That was my man. I had posters, but I had all them 80s, 80s posters. Y'all look, somebody needs to do, we've got open thing right now in the Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 group for events for next year. Somebody needs to do an event because we are opening up for 2 events per month. So that means if we can get 2 people, one person do one event, another person do some other kind of event each month. That way we have, you know, you got options. You can either do so-and-so's event or you can do the other so-and-so's event. Or you can do them both. Or you can start with one event. When you finish that one, you can do the other event. But somebody needs to do, and it ain't going to be me, but somebody needs to do the 80s and the 90s. Somebody do that event. I'm doing the 60s and 70s. Somebody needs to do the 80s and the 90s. That would be so much fun. Okay, so we are going to now talk about some slang back in the 60s. 60s slang. I gotta get a drink. Y'all, you just don't have any idea how hard it is to diamond paint and try to read and talk about something, you know, specific, not just rambling about, you know, everyday things, but when you're sitting here trying to actually talk about certain stuff, that is hard. Ooh, okay. So some of the 60s slang would be pad. Do y'all know what they meant when they would say pad? They meant house or apartment, place of residence. That was your pad. Crash, which meant to sleep or stay at someone's place. I'm going to crash because I'm so tired. Or, you care if I crash here? You know, just sleeping at somebody's place. Jet, that means to leave. And you know something that's funny is some of this stuff we still say. And some of the stuff that was slang back in the day, some of these kids, the millennials, they still say it. They've just put different meanings to it, or they think they came up with this stuff themselves. Little do they know. All right, then we have scene, which is a place or situation with a particular type of activity. Split, to leave, especially quickly or suddenly. Hip, which is a place that's very fashionable or in the know. Bean wagon. I have never heard this one. A bean wagon. Do y'all know what that means? It means a cheap restaurant. That is so freaking funny. I had never heard that one before. Now I'm going to start using it. Next time my husband asks me where we were going to go eat or what I want to eat, I'm just going to be like, let's just go to the bean wagon. He's going to have no clue. Okay, then we have grungy, which is someone or someplace looking shabby or dirty. Sponge, to live off of someone else. All right, now, cool sayings from the 60s. Those were places. These are just cool slang. Groovy, something very pleasing or cool. Hip, something or someone that's very fashionable or in the know. Out of sight, something so cool that it's beyond description. Far out, used to express amazement or approval. Then we have cool, which is, we use that now. I mean, geez, it's cool. Swinging, which is something that's lively and exciting. Boss, used to describe something that is excellent. Happening, something that's very active or popular. All right, and then we have just miscellaneous slang of the 60s. The boob tube. Y'all know what the boob tube is. It is your television. Then we got boogie board, which is short for surfboard. Brew, which is short for beer. Then we have bug, to bother or annoy someone. Cherry. Any of y'all go around saying cherry? Something in mint condition. Chop, to cut someone down verbally. Deuce, putting 2 fingers up in a peace sign. 5-finger discount. They still say that. That is someone who has stolen something. That they got it for a 5-finger discount. Then you got flip-flops. We all know what those are. Fuzz, which is the police or law enforcement. I still say that. Gig, which is a job, especially if you are a music performer. And then we've got grody. And they thought they came out with that in the 90s. So we've got grody, which is dirty, grimy, or disgusting. Lame, which means uncool, disappointing, and not exciting. Let's see, peggers, which were jeans with tight calves and ankles. Y'all, okay, I'm going to have to stop it there. Do you remember back when we used to peg leg our jeans? We used to do that. We'd take a straight pair of jeans and we would fold them over and then twist them up so that they were pegged. All right, then we have rap, which is to talk or have a conversation. Scratch, which meant money or cash. Shades were sunglasses. Threads were clothes. And then zilch, which meant 0 or nothing. All right, then we have slang for people. We've got all show and no go, which means looks good superficially. These are strange. We got badass, which was a troublemaker. Blitzed meant drunk. Chrome dome, which meant a bald man. Cool head, someone who is calm and easygoing. Decked out, which meant dressed up and often in fancy clothes. Dig it, understand a concept or an idea in a positive manner. Don't flip your wig. That meant don't be upset. Don't get mad. Don't flip your wig. Dove was a peace lover. Fab Four was the Beatles. Fink meant tattletale. A flake was a useless person, often implying unreliability. Fox was a good-looking woman. Gnarly difficult or big, hacked, made someone mad or irritated. Hippie, I-E, or hippie with the Y, is a member of the counterculture, a free-spirited, unconventional person. Okay, and then we have hog, which is to take over so someone else cannot use, hogging the remote control. Yeah. Hunk, which was a good-looking guy. In the groove was a person who's part of the crowd, the in crowd. Kiss off means to dismiss. Lay it on me was asking someone to give information or opinions. A mirror warmer. I had never heard of this one. A woman who spends a lot of time looking in the mirror. Then you got old lady, which is somebody's girlfriend or wife. And old man, which is a boyfriend or a husband. Then we have a skank or skag, which meant an ugly girl. A scuzz or a scuzz bucket, which meant disgusting person or thing. Woo, Buster. And then we've got a square, which was someone who wasn't cool. They were a square. Stuck up, which meant somebody that was conceited, proud, or arrogant. That's her bag. That's what she's into. Referring to someone's interest or hobby. I guess diamond painting is my bag. So is miniature dollhouses. The man, which was any establishment authority figure interested in maintaining the status quo. Ticked off meant angry. Unglued meant upset, and uptight was somebody who was tense and unable to enjoy life. Okay. And then we've got slang for cars. Bench racing was sitting around talking about the speed of cars. The boneyard was a place to put junk or wrecked cars, junkyard. Booking was going fast in a car. Burn rubber meant that they would squill their tires. I'm not getting a whole lot of diamond painting done because I'm flipping pages and reading. I know this video is a little boring, but like I said, it's been hard to kind of come up, and I've kind of already done all the fun stuff. So now I'm just I'm winging it here, y'all. Peel out means to accelerate quickly. Shotgun was the passenger seat. I still do that. A lot of people still say shotgun. And that just means they want to ride in the front seat. Trucking, moving quickly. Tooling meant that they were just driving around aimlessly. Okay, so now we have got slang for experiences. Aghast meant having a fun time. Beat feet meant to leave quickly. Blast meant good time. Bummer, an unpleasant experience. Catching some rays meant to get out in the sun. Cut out meant to leave an area quickly. And a downer, which is an unpleasant experience or person. that brings down the mood. And then we have Give Me Some Skin, which was to ask someone to slap or shake your hand. And I'm just kind of Wipe Out. We'll let Wipe Out be the last one, which was to fail in a big way or to fall off your surfboard. So it was mainly, you know, surfing terms. But there was one I seen in here, but where did it go? It was not slang. It was a fad. Where did I put that? Maybe it is next week's fad. Anyway, so that is what I have got for this week's video, y'all. Like I said, I am grasping at straws. I've already done the fun, or what I would consider the fun stuff. Which is, you know, the food and the games and the toys and all that good stuff. So, recap of the questions. Let me find them. Yeah, I'm going to try to get next week's to be just a little bit funner. Okay, so question number 1. Has anyone ever tie-dyed? Okay? Has anyone ever tried to tie-dye like a shirt or something? And then we have question number 2. Did anyone read or have to do the play of Romeo and Juliet in school? Number 3. Did you ever collect the little raisins that were on the commercial where and they played that song, Heard It Through the Grapevine? And then number 4 is, what was your favorite song or band growing up? And it doesn't matter if you were 60s, 70s, 80s, or if you were just born in 2012. I mean, I don't care. Like I said, I was born in the 70s. And although I do listen to a lot of 60s and 70s music, my favorite music, I will have to say, is classic rock. I am an absolute, what's the word I would call myself? Snob. I like the some of the new stuff. But I like my classic rock, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Pink Floyd. I like, you know, Prince, Madonna, you know, the 80s music, the good 80s music. And, oh geez, CCR. Can't think. John Fogerty, Bob Seger, Tom Petty. Yeah. That's the kind of music that I listen to. And I will listen to it. I use Pandora, y'all. I'm still so old school. I listen to my music on Pandora, and that's where it stays, is classic rock. Now, I like Guns N' Roses and, you know, the hair bands. I like a lot of them, but my heart lies with the classic rock. I'm sorry. It does. So, all right, y'all. I think I'm going to wrap this one up. I don't know how long I have been talking. And I hope that you are all enjoying the event. It is almost over. We've got about a week and a half to go. And then I will be doing the drawing for the giveaway. So please make sure you are participating. Make sure you are sending me your progress pictures. And I think I'm going to try to do the very last video, which I will be doing the giveaway on. I think I'm going to try to make that a video of everyone's canvases that participated. I guess that's a whip parade video. And I'm going to try to throw in some of the 60s and 70s stuff, okay? I said I'm going to try. This ain't a promise or nothing. I'm just going to try. Because I'm not real good at all this editing stuff. I don't edit. I really don't. I have done more editing as far as thumbnails and trying to throw in a picture here and there. I have done more of that in this event than I think I have done in the 5 years that I have had my channel. So, like I said, I hope you enjoy the videos. Make sure you answer the questions down in the comments. Check out the description box. That's where you're going to find all your info, all the events for Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0. And Booger is barking, so I am going to go. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you next week. Bye, y'all.